Hello everybody, welcome to Extreme Performance Racing Tutorials. I'm your host XPR Roadrunner, and I will be showing you how to go through some stages in Forza Horizon Rally. Some of the goals that I'd like to set in this video is to show you how to take corners properly, what are some typical stereotypes of rallying, and how to manage obstacles and certain terrains and surface changes in Horizon Rally as well. The demo rally that I'm going to be showing you today is the Montano Plains Rally. The first stage I finished in 7th place on AI difficulty Insane, which is pretty good. Mopar44 was my old gamer tag, so not to get confused with my current gamer tag. Now, setting yourself up for the first jump, you want to make sure that your wheel's pointed nice and straight, because if you have the wheel turned to either left or the right, that's where your car's going to end up spinning. Now, going through the first corner here, you want to brake, and then you want to get as much momentum coming out of the corner as possible. Note that I did not hit the e-brake. That is a common misconception in rally, to use the e-brake. Now, stay in the center of the course as much as you can, because that's where the grip is. Of course, you can cut these corners, but it's not recommended, as you're going to be losing time there eventually. Another tricky set of S's here. Again, try to stay in the middle of the track and not to carry too much momentum going off. As you'll see there, I hit the wall because I carried too much momentum. Another jump, keep the wheel nice and straight. Now, coming up to the first hairpin, notice you take a really wide entry and cut the corner, and also note that I did not use the e-brake, because when you use the e-brake, you'll lose angular momentum, therefore corner speed. Now here, there are a couple of jumps. You want to make sure that you have the wheel nice and straight there. Now, the first surface change is really important to make sure that the car is pointed in the direction that you want to, going from loose gravel to tarmac, because as soon as the car hits the tarmac, the car is going to be going in whatever direction that it's pointed in. Now, going from tarmac to gravel, as here, you want to make sure that you get yourself woed down and make sure that you don't have too much momentum and hit the outside wall. Now, here comes the first right square of the stage. You want to make sure you get yourself woed down, cut the corner, don't get too much momentum as you hit the outside wall like I did there, which is also a ditch, which compounds the issue. And after that, you're pretty much home free and go through the gates. Now, here's the second stage of the Montano Plains Rally. I finished in 10th place, again on insane difficulty like all the stages here. Now, it is really important that you get a good start, and you want to get through the gears as quickly as you can. Now, you want to be taking this hairpin wide, cut the corner, and brake very early for this one. Get some good momentum coming out of it. Now, this next section is very curvy and very bumpy, so you need to be taking this as with the straightest line as possible. Again, the center of the stage will be where the grip is, but you can't afford to go off track here because it's very curvy. Now, be careful of that dip. Make sure that your wheels are pointed nice and straight, and also going into that left hand, there is a little bump there which will kick the car out sideways if you take it incorrectly, like what happened there. Now, these S's here, again, you want to stay in the center of the track as much as you can. There are a lot of bumps coming into this section. Now, here's a surface change going from gravel to tarmac. Not a very difficult one to go through. And then you go back to the gravel there as well. Again, not very difficult because you're pretty much flat out through this section. Now, this section coming up, most difficult section of this track, it is incredibly bumpy, as you can see there. And for this corner here, you want to be taking it very wide, cut the corner as much as you can, and get as much corner speed coming out of it as possible. Now, here is just pretty much straight and easy peasy. Now, this right kink that comes up is very difficult to spot because it's very blind. There's a ditch on the inside right where that stop sign is, and if you take it incorrectly, you're going to go sailing and off to the corners. Now, this part is actually a blind corner as well. You got a really big jump, so you want to make sure that you stay to much to the right as possible. Now, here's a really difficult hairpin because you have a jump right before that. So if you don't get yourself slowed down enough, like what happened to me there, you're going to be sending yourself off into the wall. And from this point onwards, you just want to make sure that you stay on the tarmac and you get a really low apex there, and you're pretty much home free from there. And that's the second stage of the Montano Rally. Plains Rally, I finished again in 10th place in this stage. For the beginning part of this stage, it is very important that you get this corner right, because it is probably the most difficult corner on this whole rally, because the apex is very, very blind. You'll see there's a tree that blocks it, and you want to make sure that you carry enough momentum to get through the stage quickly, but not enough to hit that outside wall. Very bumpy section here, so you'll make sure that your wheel's pointed nice and straight and make as little steering input as possible through this section. Now, here's a somewhat tricky surface change from the loose gravel to the tarmac. Now that dip is very crucial to get correct because you will sail off into the corner and it goes into this very long sweeping left section. Again, you want to stay in the center of the track as much as you can. That corner there is actually pretty tricky. You want to make sure that your wheels are pointing nice and straight once you hit the ground, then turn. Now here's a blind jump, which isn't really that much difficult. This section is the reverse of the middle part of the last stage, so again you want to take it as with the straightest line possible. Here is a very tricky corner. You got a dip, so you want to be braking before that dip, going to the hairpin. Again, wide entry, clip the apex, cut the apex, and get a good run off. Here, nice section here, just gotta regain your breath. Now this left is very tricky because it's very bumpy and you have that ditch on the outside. You want to brake early for that corner, cut it, and get some good momentum coming off of it. Then you have another really difficult hairpin here coming up. Again, you want to brake really nice and early, right about here. Then you have that wall on the inside and a surface change that will catch you off guard if you do it incorrectly, like what happened there with me. Another corner here and another surface change going from the tarmac to the gravel. Here's a very big jump, just changing the replay for dramatic effect. Again, you want to keep the wheels nice and straight. Then you have that followed with a hairpin. Again, you want to take a wide corner entry, cut the apex, and get a good momentum coming off. Again, no e-brake. Do not use the e-brake. Then you have a little nice flowing section here. Now this jump is very important to get right because that gate is very blind. So you want to make sure that your car is pointed in the right direction, and it's also critical to know where that gate is. So you might want to run that stage once or twice just to get yourself acclimated to that stage. And then if you get it right, then that's some time shaved off. And that's the third stage of the Montano Plains Rally. Now here is the final stage of the Montano Plains Rally. I finished 4th place in this stage, which is, considering that it's on Insane AI, is actually really good. Now the first part of this stage is the exact same as the first part of the first stage. So again, you want to make sure that you take that corner with a straight wheel so that you don't go off once you hit the ground. Again, make sure you try to stay in the center of the stage as much as possible. Brake early, get some good momentum coming out. Again, you want to stay in the center of the track because that gate there has 2 impenetrable fences on either side. This S's section, again, you want to make sure that you want to stay in the center of the course because that's, again, where the grip is. All these jumps, you want to make sure that your wheel's pointed nice and straight. You can experiment with some lines there to make sure that you get it right. There's no real one line through the course. Again, coming up to this hairpin, you want to make sure you brake nice and early, take it wide, cut the corner as much as you can, get a really good run off on the corner exit. I forgot to mention on these big jumps, it's pretty much up to you whether or not you want to keep the throttle pegged. It's just a matter of if you get annoyed or not. Now here's that really tricky surface change again. Again, you want to make sure that the car is pointed in the direction that you want to. Otherwise, it'll be going off. Again, going into this section, once again, you want to make sure you get yourself slowed down enough so you don't hit the wall on the outside. Here again, stay on the center of the track as much as you can. This right square again, you want to brake really early, cut that corner, and get some nice momentum coming out of the corner without going onto the ditch on the outside. Here is that straight where the end of the first stage and the beginning of the second stage starts, and you have that really important left hairpin. Of course, you're carrying a lot more speed into it this time, so you're going to brake even earlier than you had the last stage. Again, wide corner entry, cut the corner in the apex, and get good momentum off. Here, again, straightest line as possible going through the corners. You can go off on either side of the track for this one. Here, you want to make sure that you go in the center, brake early, and get good momentum off. Really crucial to stay in the center. Again, I keep mentioning it, and it's really important because even though you think that inside line might be quicker, that grip that you can get in the center of the corner is really crucial. You have this section once again coming up that is really, really bumpy, and you want to take a straight line possible, minimal steering input as possible, and you want to have a straight line coming off of those bumps. There you have that corner. You want to make sure you take it wide, cut the corner, and get some good momentum off. Once again, here you want to stay in the center of the track, and then you have this blind right kink once again. Right where that stop sign is, you want to aim for it, get some good momentum. Then you want to stay to as right as possible on this part, because that jump is really big, and then you have this really heavy camber section going into this hairpin. Again, there's that bump there, so you want to brake nice and early, take a really wide, cut the corner apex, and get a good drive off. Remember, no e-brake, absolutely no e-brake using whatsoever. Then you have to stay on the tarmac, get a really nice run through the center, and get as much carry as much momentum as you can going into the gate. And that is the Montano Plains Rally. And the results are coming up. Just let me exit out through the replays here. So you'll notice I finished 4th place in the stage with a 3:35.4, about a second off of the time. And then in the whole rally I finished in 8th place, about 11 seconds off. Again, on insane difficulty, that's not too shabby. Just don't get discouraged when you're running on the higher difficulties, because the AI is just really, really difficult at times. If you have any questions or concerns about rallying, you can message XPR Roadrunner, that is myself once again, at the XPR website at xpracing.forummotion.co.uk. And if you would like further tips and how-tos on racing in general in Forza Motorsport, you can contact XPR Venom, XPR Soundwave, myself, and XPR Tactical at the same website. Just send us a PM and we'll get back to you in a timely manner. And thank you very much for watching these tutorials. We hope to get out more of these tutorials for you in the coming months. And for Extreme Performance Racing, I am XPR Roadrunner, signing out.